how do you balance, you know, just reporting the facts versus taking sides and all of that stuff? You know, you hear all this noise from people that, you know, they're like, oh, well, CNN is this and Fox is that, and all these different outlets take sides on everything, or at least people think they do. Whether or not they do or not, I don't know, but, you know, people think they do, you know, whatever the side is, right? Whether it's liberal, conservative, COVID, not COVID, masks, not masks, whatever the topic is, it seems like everybody gets pushed into a side. How do you, are you planning on just trying to be as neutral as possible on stuff? Like, how do you navigate that as a journalist?
Yeah, well, I'm not a journalist, so I should say that up front. I'm responsible for the editorial side because I'm responsible for the company, but I can see my byline in the paper, and I defer to our journalists who are professional, you know, career journalists to make those, you know, to make the right decisions there. I think that, you know, we alluded to earlier, there's been, you know, an erosion of trust in information, right? There's no more discernible truth in our national discourse, and, you know, why that is, you know, I'm sure people can debate that and get to an answer, but I think, you know, the more that people are in their echo chambers and they only see what's in their Facebook feed, they curate, you know, that down to an area that makes them feel good, and they're just constantly reassured. You know, that's not a very healthy place to be, and we all, you know, all of us from the top down, you know, go into that bubble, unfortunately. So, you know, our goal as a community paper, I think, is to, you know, to not engage in those, you know, those divisive topics. You know, I think that we're generally able to, you know, to cover things that are on the local level, which I think, you know, haven't really bubbled up to that level of divisiveness that you referred to. So, you know, we're not an inherently political paper, you know, or publisher. It's just not our local politics. And there certainly are a lot of issues right now in Atlanta that, you know, are pretty heated, whether it's around schools going back into session, which is obviously a big thing right now. Crime. We're headed into a year of mayoral elections in two of our cities that we cover, at least two of those. So there, you know, there is stuff that does fall into, I think, the dynamic that you mentioned, which is, you know, people may disagree vehemently on these topics, but we're gonna be as fair as we can be in covering those independently.
If you think today's tip or guest interview can help someone you know, please share this with them. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. The Riderflex Podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviewing. You can visit riderflex.com to learn more about us and get information and pricing on the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great day.